Hello, everyone. Well, you know what? I just forgot something. Hold on. I almost forgot my coffee for coffee talk. this is Javalia. I have never had this brewed as like a hot coffee or cold coffee or anything. This is the first time I'm trying this brand. This is a cold brew black coffee. Disclaimer, this is my fourth caffeinated beverage today. I had a hot coffee this morning and two semi-tall glasses of peach tea, so hey. Oh, that's good. That is good. This is the house blend. I can't wait to try this stuff hot. It works as a cold coffee though, so I'll take it. All right, folks, one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm not going to get any sleep tonight, or I'm going to end up with heart palpitations for about a day. I don't know what's going to happen. Roulette. Coffee roulette. We'll see. um, anyway, today I want to talk about being guilty. I'm guilty of a lot of things. Some good things, some not so good things. What brought this on was, well, we were in church today, and one of the people on the worship team was rather upset that all of us weren't wearing masks and stuff like that. And there was a bunch more to it, but I am guilty because right away, instead of being compassionate and loving, right away on the inside, I was burning with frustration. And I am guilty of not being able to understand why people are so afraid of this thing. I don't know if it's just that I don't want to see it or that I just actually can't. I'm not sure. It's not, well, I'm not usually one of those people that's I really don't want to try to see your things. I'm usually pretty much in the middle. Um, you know, even on, most, not all, but on most, political stances, I can even find middle ground on, a lot of different things. And some things I'm very, left, some things I'm very right. Um, but most of it, I can find middle ground. And so I do try and see where people are coming from, but this is something that I'm just I because the way I feel about everything is so strong that it is really hard for me to understand someone's fear over something that I don't see as this big giant threat that, I mean, numbers don't lie. And I it's like, you know, what, 2 or 4%, at least in this area, you know, that's been fatal. That's that is any death is a tragedy. It's sad. It's, something worthy of mourning and grieving, and there's processes that go with it. There is no death that is, you know, except maybe, like a serial killer or something. It's hard for me to find their life very valuable because they've taken so many willingly, but Them aside, everyone else, you know, and maybe that itself might seem like a contradiction, but I'm getting way off topic. The point is that after that happened this morning, and of course immediately I got frustrated. But then I sat back and I really thought about it, and all throughout worship service and throughout our church service, I kept thinking like I just failed the test. I just failed this test to see, how am I going to. It's one thing, I think. Well, it's not really one thing. I was going to say it's one thing to strangers that you don't even know, to, kind of like, okay, and I was going to say it's different when it's a member of the church family, but in reality, stranger or not, we should have that same love and compassion towards other people, whether we know them or not. And that really is hard for some people to do, I think. It's not usually hard for me to do that, but these days it's been challenging for me because frustration and anger take over where humanity and love should be. So then I just kind of jotted down this poem that I wanted to share. It's called I Am Guilty. I am guilty of failing a test to see whether I was going to show love or get stressed, and I failed to see or try to understand. I am guilty of believing we are safe and protected by His grace, but I am also guilty of expecting you to see things the way I do. I am guilty of hugging in a world where it's not allowed, because my faith has been found and my life is not fear-bound. I am guilty of living with anger in my heart from weeks of being stressed, people being rude to me for no reason, and for feeling like I have no control over my life. But I am also guilty of loving my husband so much I cry, and loving my kids so much I melt. I am guilty of wanting to take care of my parents like they've always taken care of me. And yes, I have hugged them and loved them during all of this. And no, I won't apologize, because we serve the same God that provides, defeats the enemy, and can bring us together when we're divided. And that's exactly what's happening. What has happened. And doesn't matter what political party you're from. It really doesn't. This thing has really divided us. It has divided me. It has separated me from compassion and wanting to understand, and frustration and being irritated all the time has been what's been taken over. And, especially now, we have to fight past the bad things to focus on the good. Because how am I supposed to show other people God's love when I'm irritated with them? How am I supposed to be leading an example as a leader in the church? I mean, I'm not, a pastor or anything, but I am the leader of a group of singers. How am I supposed to lead them with a mangled heart? With a heart that, has just really wants to hug people, and I need that affection. I am one of those people that, the idea of not being able to hug somebody after working, for weeks where you can't go near people, you can't, can't even breathe on them, not that I really want to go and breathe on everybody, but or people breathing on me. um, but all this, I live for the day when the expression social distancing is non-existent anymore. I do. I live for that day because I love being near people and feeling the love and the joy in their embrace and the safety of their embrace. I mean, really, like I some people just aren't huggers. I get that. I don't understand it because I am a hugger, but I get it. I respect that. You're not a hugger and you know, that's okay. Um I am. And you know, but I did. We, those of us who felt completely safe around each other, hugged each other, and it felt wonderful. And it was exactly what my soul needed. My soul has been needing to hug people. And, it was very healing today. And then I came home and had a really long conversation with my 5-year-old girl. My 5-year-old. And let me tell you something. She can feel how stressed I've been. She told me that I have been ignoring the angel on my shoulder and listening to the devil on my shoulder. That came out of her mouth. And she said that I need to shake him off, to jump right out of my anger, and to not have that anymore. And you know what she did? She stuck her little hand on my forehead and she prayed for me. And she prayed for God to defeat the devil, letting me feel angry and letting me be filled with anger. She prayed for me. At 5 years old, she prayed for the devil to be defeated and for God just this girl, my little angel, let me tell you, both of my kids just amaze me in so many ways. So with everything that happened from this morning until my daughter and I mean, and even after she prayed for me, we just talked. We talked a lot, and it was like Jesus was definitely talking through her because it was a lot of stuff that I really needed to hear, and I felt this huge weight lift off of me. So, yes, I am guilty of being one of those people who has been holding on to frustration and stress and anger at things that are out of my control, things that I don't understand. I am never going to understand having faith in God and being afraid every day. I don't understand that because to me that doesn't add up. But that's my walk. That's my experience. And maybe if I'm not saying it will be, but if it turns out that a lot of things have been blown way out of proportion than they needed to be, and those of us who are frustrated because we see that, if it turns out that that's legit, then I have to look at it like a math problem, okay? Some people can do math in their head. They instantly get it. They can see it right away. It's there. No stress. Some people need a calculator. Some people have to write it down and go over a bunch of different steps. And some people need to be taught. Some people need to really, really, they need tutors. They need extra time with the teacher to really learn the math problems that they've been giving. Well, you can look at it like this. So my whole point in all of this is, if I want which is true. I want people to not be afraid, especially in church. I want us to not be afraid of everything, of every little germ, of every possibility that might not ever even come into fruition. If I want people to not be afraid of that, just like I'm not afraid of that, then I need to help them do the math. And actions speak louder than words. I can tell someone till I'm blue in the face, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. But it's not going to be until they see it in me or in someone else or just God finding his own way to show them that they don't have to be afraid. Maybe those of us, because I am not the only one who is frustrated when people get that way. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. But maybe if instead of getting frustrated, maybe if we stayed calm and, tried to be more of an example of what not having fear is, instead of just wanting to yell back and wanting to point a finger or be like, oh, instead of acting frustrated, why don't we lead by example and show what God's peace and love and comfort really looks like in times like these?